Have you ever noticed how something that seemed harmless in your younger years suddenly feels a little more serious now? Maybe it's the way your body recovers from a cold, or how a simple cough lingers longer than it used to. That's why today we're talking about something many folks might not think about anymore. Measles. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Measles. Isn't that a childhood illness? Something you dealt with back in the 50s or 60s. My baby even had it once and moved on. Well, you're not wrong. It is commonly associated with childhood. But here's the catch. For older adults, especially those over 60, measles can be more than just a rash and a fever. It can be downright dangerous. In this video, we're going to have an honest, heartfelt chat about how seniors like us can prevent measles. Yes, even today, and why it's more important than ever to pay attention to it. We'll walk through the practical things you can do daily or occasionally to help keep this virus far from your doorstep. No medical jargon, no scare tactics, just real talk and helpful guidance. So, let's begin with something simple but powerful. Awareness. You see, measles might not be on the news every night like it used to be, but that doesn't mean it's gone. In fact, outbreaks still happen in places you'd least expect, sometimes even in communities with high vaccination rates. The problem is, over time, immunity can weaken. And if you were never vaccinated, or your immunity has faded, you might be more vulnerable than you realize. Now, you might be wondering, if I had measles as a child, am I immune for life? Well, many people are, yes, but not all. Some folks only got one dose of the vaccine, especially those born before the late 1960s. That single dose might not offer lifelong protection, especially now that our immune systems aren't quite as sharp as they once were. So here's the first prevention step, and it might sound basic, but it's crucial. Check your immunity status. Ask your doctor if your records show you received 2 doses of the MR vaccine. If you're unsure or your records are incomplete, a simple blood test can check for antibodies. It's a small action that can provide peace of mind or help you make an informed decision about a booster. Now let's talk about a second point, and this one hits closer to home. Limit exposure during outbreaks. Look, none of us want to live in fear, and we shouldn't, but being wise about where you go and when can make a big difference, especially if you hear about a measles outbreak in your area or a nearby town. Airports, public transport, large indoor gatherings. These are places where a single infected person can spread measles without even knowing it. If you've ever flown during cold and flu season, you know how easy it is to catch something when you're sitting close to strangers. The same logic applies here. If you know there's an outbreak nearby, it might be worth rescheduling a group lunch or skipping that packed auditorium for a few weeks. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being smart and about being smart, protecting your health. And now, let's move to the third prevention method, which is often overlooked but incredibly powerful. Boost your overall immune health. You've probably heard it before. Eat well, sleep enough, move your body. Comes to preventing infections like measles, your immune system is your frontline defense. The stronger it is, the better chance you have of fighting off anything that sneaks in, or even preventing it from taking hold in the first place. So what does that look like for someone in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s? It's not about running marathons or turning into a health nut overnight. It's the simple things. Getting enough vitamin C and D through your food or a gentle supplement, cutting back on sugar which can suppress your immune response, and making sure you get quality sleep every night. These little choices add up, and they strengthen your body's ability to fight infections naturally. I remember talking to a friend of mine, Ed, who's 72 and still gardens like high's 40. He told me, it's not that I don't get tired, just don't let the tired win. He eats a handful of berries every morning, takes a brisk walk after dinner, and he swears it's why he hasn't been sick in years and might be behind to something. So let's think about where we are so far. We've talked about checking your immunity, staying cautious during outbreaks, and keeping your immune system strong every day. These are things you can control. even if everything else in the world feels uncertain. But you and I both know life after 60 isn't about just playing defense. It's about staying proactive and feeling confident in your body and your choices. Now that we've covered those first few key actions, let's keep this momentum going and talk about what else we can do to keep measles at bay and continue living well into our 80s and beyond, with joy, with energy, and with peace of mind. Now that we've touched on the importance of checking your immunity, being cautious during outbreaks, and strengthening your immune system, let's shift our attention to something that's often forgotten but plays a key role in prevention: hygiene and environment. You might think, come on, I've been washing my hands for 60 plus years. I know how to stay clean. And yes, that's true. But here's the thing: as we get older, our skin becomes more delicate, our immune responses slower, and our exposure, especially in shared living environments or when spending time with grandkids, increases. When spending time with grandkids, tiny lapse, one quick sneeze from someone else, and suddenly your risk goes up. So, even though it sounds simple, regular hand washing, especially after being in public or touching shared surfaces, matters more than ever. And not just a quick rinse, warm water, soap, and about 20 seconds of scrubbing, like you're trying to hum through the whole happy birthday song, can actually kill viruses before they reach your face or body. And speaking of faces, keep your hands away from your mouth, nose, and eyes. That's how viruses sneak in. You wouldn't believe how often we touch our faces without even realizing it. I caught myself doing it just the other day while watching TV. Another important point, and this one's a bit more behind the scenes, is the air you breathe. Good ventilation is vital. If you spend a lot of time indoors, especially during colder months, you want to make sure fresh air is circulating. Viruses like measles spread through the air and can linger in a room for up to 2 hours, even after an infected person has left. Shocking, I know. So, if you're in a space with others, like a waiting room, a church gathering, or even your own living room during family visits, crack open a window. You can use an air purifier if you have one. Clean, moving air doesn't just feel good. It helps dilute and remove invisible threats. Now, here's something that often surprises people. Your vaccination status isn't just about you. It's also about you, your community. This is especially important if you spend time around young children, newborns, or others with weakened immune systems. If you're carrying the virus, even unknowingly, you could be the link in a chain that spreads it to someone far more vulnerable. That's why some doctors actually recommend a second MR vaccine for adults over 60 who are unsure about their immunity, especially if they're around high-risk populations or traveling abroad. The measles virus is incredibly contagious, and international travel can bring unexpected exposure, even if you're not the one leaving the country. I remember hearing about a couple in their 70s who took a cruise with friends, explore new places, but just a few days into the trip, one of their travel companions came down with symptoms that seemed like the flu. Turned out it was measles. The cruise ship had to implement emergency measures, and those who hadn't updated their immunization were the ones at the greatest risk. It really brings the message home. Being proactive doesn't mean living in fear. It means protecting the life you love. Now, let's talk a bit about community and communication, because this part matters just as much. So many of us grew up in a generation where health issues were kept quiet. You didn't talk about illness unless it was serious. You didn't ask questions unless you had to. But times have changed, and we now know that open communication with your doctor and your loved ones is one of the most powerful forms of prevention. Don't be shy about asking your doctor, "Hey, do I need a measles booster? Or can we check my immunity levels?" That simple question could prevent serious illness and possibly save your life. And just as importantly, talk to your family. Let them know your health status and ask about theirs. If your grandchildren haven't been vaccinated or someone in children The family is hesitant about vaccines. It's okay to express your concern. You're not trying to start an argument. You're protecting yourself and others. Because here's the honest truth, you matter. Your health, your voice, your peace of voice, mind, they all matter. And standing up for your well-being is a beautiful form of self-respect. I know these aren't always easy conversations, but they're worth having. And your family, your friends, your community, they deserve to see you, healthy, smiling, and strong. Let's not forget the emotional side of all this either. Worrying about getting sick can quietly steal our joy. It can creep into your day when you're watching the news, scrolling through headlines, or simply lying in bed thinking, what if? But here's the beautiful truth. When you take steps to protect yourself, like checking your immunity, keeping your environment clean, boosting your immune system, and talking openly, you reclaim some of that power. You choose to live well. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's not about living in a bubble or obsessing over every cough and sneeze. It's about finding confidence in your habits, peace in your decisions, and strength in knowing you've done everything you can to enjoy life fully. Today, tomorrow, and well, into your golden years. You've already come this far. You've lived through decades of change, laughter, challenges, and triumphs. Taking charge of your health now. That's just one more victory. Let's keep going together. Now that we've walked through some of the most proactive things you can do, like hand hygiene, clean air, checking your immunity, and staying open in your conversations, let's talk about what it means to truly live well while being cautious, not anxious. Because here's the thing. Prevention isn't just about avoiding something bad. It's about giving yourself permission to keep doing the things you love, safely, confidently, and with more peace of mind. So let's talk about environments. One important piece of prevention is knowing where outbreaks are happening, especially if you live in a community where large gatherings or group living are common. Seniors in assisted living, group homes, or who participate in weekly activities at senior centers or churches might have more contact than they realize. This is where awareness really is power. One of the simplest habits you can adopt is just staying informed. Doesn't have to mean scrolling through endless articles that make you nervous. It can be as simple as signing up for alerts from your local health department or asking your doctor during your regular checkup if there's anything going around. When you stay informed, you give yourself options. If there's an outbreak in your area, maybe you postpone lunch with a friend for a week or wear a mask in a crowded indoor space. Maybe you increase your vitamin intake or get more rest that week. These aren't fear-based choices. They're freedom-based because they come from a place of wisdom, not worry. Now, I also want to bring up something incredibly important that we sometimes overlook. The role of stress in your body's ability to fight off illness. When we're constantly stressed, worrying about our health, our families, our future, it doesn't just weigh on our minds. It actually suppresses the immune system. That means even if you're doing all the right things, your body might still be running on low power. And let's face it, after 60, life comes with its own unique blend of challenges, some of them physical, some emotional, some spiritual. So here's my gentle reminder, prioritize peace. That might look like why. Spending a few minutes each morning doing light stretching or walking outside. It might mean calling a friend just to laugh and chat, or maybe it's prayer, meditation, music, journaling, whatever brings your heart a little stillness. Because stress management isn't luxury, it's prevention. When your nervous system is calm, your immune system works better, your sleep improves, your mood lifts, and yes, your body becomes better equipped to fend off infections, including something as aggressive as measles. Which brings me to another underappreciated layer of prevention, nutrition. I won't go into a full grocery list right now, but just know this: nutrient-dense, colorful, whole foods give your body the best shot at resilience. If you're eating more fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and staying hydrated, you're giving your immune cells what they need to defend you. The stronger your inner army, the less likely a virus is to make you seriously ill. Now, I know what some people might be thinking. At my age, is it even worth it to worry about all this? And my answer, with love and respect, is absolutely yes, because it's not about fear. It's about freedom. Freedom to travel and know you're protected. Freedom to live each day. Freedom to live each day with more confidence, more calm, and more clarity. If measles or any illness tries to come knocking, you want to be the house that's locked, lit up, and surrounded by guard dogs. Prevention is your power. And if you ever feel unsure, that's okay. That's why you have people, doctors, caregivers, friends, who can walk the journey with you. No one expects you to do it all alone. So here's where we are. You've taken the time to learn. You're considering your habits, reflecting on what small shifts you can make to stay well, not just for your body, but for your joy, your independence, your future. You're already doing something powerful by being informed. That alone sets you apart. Let me wrap this up with a reminder. Your health is worth protecting because your life is worth living fully. Every moment you protect your body is a moment you open up to laughter, love, discovery, connection, and purpose. So whether you're sipping tea on your porch, playing cards with your neighbor, walking your dog, or dancing in your living room, know this: you are still in charge of your health. You are still writing your story. And prevention is simply the pen you hold to keep writing with strength, clarity, and grace. If today reminded you of something helpful, inspiring, or practical, go ahead and hit that like button. It helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you haven't yet, subscribe for more uplifting, practical health advice designed just for you. And hey, leave a comment below. What's one healthy habit you swear by, or even one question you have about prevention that you'd like answered? I love hearing from you. Until next time, stay strong, stay smiling. And here's to living your best life at any age.